Over the course of around a week and a half, we got around 300 mils of rain here in southeast Queensland. It is pretty standard for this time of year to start getting that amount of rain. It just means our rainy season has started, and it will generally be here to stay until around March. There's not a lot that we can do about it. It is just adjusting our expectations and planting things that are more suitable to that high rainfall, the humidity, and that high heat. In this video, I am going to do a little wander around the garden and show you guys some of the things that I would recommend to grow over the hot, wet season here in southeast Queensland. If you guys have watched me for a while, you will know that I don't plant a lot of tomatoes over the summer months because of the issues that we have with fungal diseases when we get that onslaught of rain. We also have fruit fly that is just really hard to manage when things get dire. But there's also the problem of the fruit splitting when we get a lot of rain. The main variety that I recommend to grow over summer if you live in the tropics or subtropics is the Thai pink egg or the pink Thai egg. It is really great because it does handle a lot of water all at once. The fruit rarely splits, if at all, and it is a great candidate for growing in a pot because of that reason. The other one that we had great success with this current rain event was just the standard Roma. So we had a lot of fruit that we've harvested from that plant that hasn't split. A lot of the cherries that were nearing on that ripe stage, they split. So those are the two varieties that we're growing at the moment that we are having luck with. Another stock standard for us to grow is capsicums. They do really well with the high rainfall and the heat. These ones are just Californian wonders, but the YOLO wonders are really good as well. And I do love the Corno de Toros, which is more like a long tapered shaped fruit. Of course, there's all of your chilies, your jalapenos, Thai bird's eye is really good, and the cayenne. Just be careful, fruit fly do get them. This is actually under a net at the moment. We come in and give the bushes a bit of a shake to pollinate the flowers, and it's working really well. So just keep them netted to keep the fruit fly off. The corn handled the rain. The problem is when it rains, when the corn's flowering before the silks have been pollinated. So every single strand of silk needs to have a bit of pollen on it. And unfortunately, when you get a week of rain, sometimes it is impossible for that to happen, as wind is usually the thing that carries the pollen onto each individual strand of silk. The Market More cucumber seems to be doing pretty well. It hasn't gotten too much of a mildew issue. I'm pretty happy with that. It has survived. We're just starting to get fruit on it now. Cucamelon, which you either love it or hate it, it does kind of take over, but it does thrive. If you're struggling to grow cucumbers over the hot, humid months, cucamelon might be a good alternative. The taste of it does have a bit more of a sour flavour. It is an acquired taste, and obviously there's lots of little seeds inside the teeny little fruits, but it is one that handles our humidity and excessive rainfall really well. All of your perennial spinaches do well. So this is a Japanese one. I think I do have another just standard perennial spinach, but these ones all do really, really well when it is very hot, humid and wet. The standout in terms of perennial spinaches would have to be my favorite, which is a Brazilian spinach. I just grabbed this as a cutting off someone from Organic Growers, Brisbane Organic Growers, a market. She said, try this one. And I put this in the ground. I've not done anything. It's actually in my path around my raised garden beds. And it just, as soon as the weather heats up, as soon as the rain kicks in, this is what it does. It's amazing. And it's a really good alternative to baby spinach over the warm months. It has a similar texture, whereas some of the other perennial spinaches can be they're either really tough or they are really slimy. This one here is one of my favorites to add to salads over those hot months. If you're not keen on the perennial spinaches, there is the perpetual gator spinach, which is more like a Swiss chard, and it does really well for us here. Comfrey is another one that just adores a lot of rain. So we use this for more of a compost activator. So I usually wait until it gets this bushy and then I cut it right back and I dump it into my compost bin, and it just supercharges things along quicker. Ginger absolutely loves a lot of rain. It does really, really well in that hot, humid climate. Turmeric is another one, just like ginger, does really, really well. Fennel was another one that did really, really well with a lot of rain. Some beans are pretty good, but the standout really is the snake bean. This is a red dragon. It's actually not a red bean. It is one of the greenest beans. It's just sort of kicking into gear, but if you are struggling with rust and other issues with beans with a lot of rain, then this is the one to go for. It is an acquired taste. It's a bit more tougher than a regular green bean that you would get in the supermarket. So if you don't love that kind of thing, then leave it alone, don't grow it. But yeah, it's one of the better ones to grow. There are certain bush bean varieties that are usually rust resistant, which makes them a good one to grow over the warmer, wet months. This one here is a Pioneer. It's a flat green bean and it seems to do well. The other ones are Strike. We also have Royal Burgundy, which is a purple one, and the Cherokee Wax. They're all the ones that we grow that generally are pretty good with the rust. The Blue Lakes seem to handle it pretty well. So these are, again, a round green bean. Normally though, we do get rust on this, so I am kind of waiting for that to happen with all of that rain and the humidity kicking into gear. We'll see how that one goes. Also, our loofah, he's only little at the moment. They really don't kick into gear until around March, April. Starting to get some fruit here, but that's another good one, especially if you're having trouble growing zucchini. You can harvest this and eat the small fruit as a zucchini. I'm getting this one to grow up and over the arch, and hopefully we will get lots of that this year. Okra is another really good one as well. Of course, sweet potatoes. I often joke about over summer we just need to put the sweet potatoes in and head to the beach and give up on the garden because it just grows with not a lot of input. All you need is a spot that has full sun. That's the only real requirement that I have for my sweet potatoes. If you've got it in a shady spot, you're not going to get those big tubers. Rosellas are another stock staple for the hot, humid months. This one I've just put in a pot this year. I'll see how it goes in the pot. Normally we just let them grow wherever they pop up, but I've relocated this one out of the path, so we'll see how he goes. Passion fruit kicked into gear with all of that rain, so I'm looking forward. Normally we get harvests around April, May, so hopefully we'll see some flowers starting to form on these guys soon. Coffee beans have really kicked into gear with all of this rain. They've got some beautiful glossy leaves again. And of course, bananas, they absolutely loved all of that extra rain. So something else you might want to do when it's really hot is just rest your beds or do some cover crops. So we're doing that for one of our large beds at the moment, and I think I'm going to do a couple of others because really I want really good soil for when our most productive season hits in autumn. It's a really good way to sort of give everything a boost, rest everything, and be ready to go come February when we start planting out those cool season crops. I do get asked a lot of the time if there's anything you can do during a high rainfall event, and I recommend that you do nothing but observe. If you get out and start messing with things, you're going to spread diseases, you're going to make things worse. So the things that I would look out for when you do get a lot of rain is there any drainage issues? What's the water holding capacity of your garden beds like? Is it holding too much water? And reassess and work back from there. There's no point going out and putting tarps over things because it's likely going to do more damage than any good, especially if wind picks up or if the sun comes out and you just end up cooking everything. That being said, we did have a few casualties, which I will talk about in one of our other videos, but generally we handled that rain event pretty well here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.